Genie grind and watch him get rich, huh? Remember when I said I hit a lick, huh? I don't really wanna fuck the bitch, what? Willie went and made another hit, okay, like Prada on my motherfucking kid, huh? Louis on my motherfucking hip, huh? Curry how I dunk, no switch, hey, fucker gonna fuck that bitch, hey, if you ain't gon' fuck with me, you a dumb fuck, put up a hit but feel like one punch, look at my bank and I'm getting dumb rich, and I'm gonna count it up till 100,
Hello world, I'm Outsmarted, and today we are doing what if what if Asta was a genius, basically. What if he had outsmarted the devil? So basically, Asta going to the top, the peak of this mountain, up the 1,000 giant steps, which is exactly what it sounds like. It is literally steps upon steps upon steps of 5 foot by 5 steps that lead up the mountain. The mountain is extraordinarily large. I mean, 1,000 times 5 is 5,000. It is 5,000 at least latitude up. So, if you can imagine for me for a second, Deku trying to climb, Asta trying to climb that. However, he makes golems go even faster. Using some of the devil powers, he aggravates them, making them more mad, however, makes them even faster. As Asta starts to see the usefulness in the devil's powers and being able to curse stuff to go faster or slower. Usually there'll be a drawback, however, as this one makes him sleepier, however, makes the robots go faster. As the golem carries him on its back, it carries him all the way up. As he wakes up, he's at the start of the tomb. The lock seems to have been bound by high magic. At the very least, some sort of grand master must have been hired by them to create this lock. However, to him, it is nothing but child's play. As it is a rune made by a grand master, even Penny could take care of this. As he memorizes what Penny had did to lock the rights to the robots, to the golems, and he had replicated that exactly to unlock the gate. As he walks through the front entrance, it's shocking both of the guards who stood firmly. However, this broke them after their almost 100 years of standing there. They molded out of their rust and followed him as they kept their spears trained on his neck. The golems and the devil both told him to retaliate, as they might kill him accidentally by this point, how close the spears were to his neck. However, they were unmoving, barely even moving from his neck. Even when he forced himself to go a little bit closer to the spears, they perfectly replicated his movements. It would take high amount of skill for this to be accomplished, especially for just the guards. As he makes his way into the ancient temples, all of its ruined corollaries of all the different stone hedges, the different monuments and different cultures, all that had clashed on this mountain to reveal one solemn victor. A huge, like crowned jewel on top of the mountain. The absolute top of it stands a subtle room, one full of 6 men, and one sitting on the absolute back. All of the warriors and children, people that lived up in the mountains with the Silva family, stared at the boy as he continued his trudge along the steps to go to the very tippy top. It hurt his legs even more than the climb up. However, he did sleep it, to be fair, as he saw old men that were the elders of the Silva family walking up the steps faster and at incredible speeds, more than he could imagine. What incredible power these people must have. As he continues his way up, he finally gets as he passes all of the mountain monsters, as the spear guys instantly were able to defeat the monsters in almost 0 times, like 2 seconds flat, amazing him. As they continued their trek, and he walks into the Ronin's Cathedral, its gigantic doors opening up slowly and yet almost seemed to push the whole world itself instead of moving themselves. Being sufficiently threatened and also terrified for his life, he makes his way steadily into the place, being edged on by the guards. As finally he finds the man in charge, the great Ronin, Yurio. Yurio had been one of the most spry and most well-known Grandmaster mages ever known. However, in his old age, he seemed to have crumbled away, his throne sort of looking bastardized after all of the wars. Thousands of spears and swords that laid around him, crumpling around to find the steps made out of stone and carved away, as each one of the steps carved itself. No man could have made those. As he speaks up, seeing that he's not going to get a formal greeting, he says, "Well, this is quite the way to introduce to greet a guest." As finally he is noticed by all 7 of the warlords. The one sitting on the throne, Yurio. "We didn't find any respect to give to you. After all, you haven't passed our tests, child." As he steadily slows himself, as he had jolted up onto his feet after the interruption from him. Asta's like, "Okay, this guy's clearly underestimating me. What are these trials, you say? If I need respect around here to just sell my stuff to you, fine. What do you need me to do?" As he's like, "This is just like a quiz on, a story quest in one of those games that he remembers from his old life." Wearing a smile high, he continues to smile, trying to get his best impression on those around him. As the Aramusho, as they would call him, takes offense to this smile. "You dare smile in front of me, boy? This is a war room, don't you understand what you are? It's a sign of disrespect in our culture. Now, your test shall begin then, child." As, suddenly the guards start to walk back. Even for them, they were thrown off guard and kind of like topple on top of each other as they fall back. And then the floor collapses out beneath them. The floor collapses about the whole entire cathedral, as all the rest of the warlords run out of the way. The table, he could hear it clash down onto the floor first. As he could hear it clash into something very mushy. As then he lands onto his knees, not seeing any reason to actually, save his fall. After all, it was clear that it was going to be made for somebody to fall down. He looks around, seeing all of the corpses, as then he looks up to see, and he says, "So this was it, huh? Just so that you could trap me?" Aramusha says, You underestimate us, child. All we wish to do is eliminate this world's necromancy. Golems are considered necromancy in our culture, and we're not ones to let go of it so easily. Stop smiling, child. You dare disrespect me, even after seeing your fate doomed before you. As I was just like, "I'm sorry, I can't take it away. This is just so fun." As he's like, "Well, let me let me crush that flame." As then he throws out his arm, "Send it out." As then the guards nervously pull on 2 levers that were handedly right next to the doors. They put their whole backs into it, which is to say that it was quite heavy. Suddenly the gigantic gate opens up. Slowly, the sharp needles on the top of it that were made to stop whatever was in there to come out to him. A tiny dragon. One that almost looked like a pet. Aw, it's so cute. What the hell, you think I'm gonna fight this thing? No, I'd rather keep it as a pet. They're like, wait for it. And then he reaches out his arm as the baby dragon starts to sniff it and, like, you know, rubs up against his hand as he pets all the way down its body. And then he's like, yeah, what the hell of a test is this? You guys giving me a free familiar? As then, you dare touch my child. Boy. Why does everybody call me a boy? As the devil's like, we should leave. As he's like, is that fury sense from you? As in all of the, you know, maybe what I would say is almost 5 years that he's known devil, he has never had actual fear sensed from him. And at this moment, the devil actually gets terrified. And he's like, we should escape. As then he's like, I'll just give you the ability to jump really high for just a few seconds. It'll hurt like hell though afterwards, your legs. As then he's like, I mean, okay, if you really want me to. And then the devil's like, yes, go, 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 go. As then he infuses his legs with jumping ability, and he jumps all the way up to the container height. And then the warlords held their spears in front of Deku's chest. However, Asta's, you know, natural sense of battle, he air dodges out of the way, figuring out that he can actually asperse his body weight to get out of the way of attacks that are coming for him, and he can't dodge out of the way by touching the ground. So then he shifts all of his weight in instant to shift out of the way of the spears, grabbing onto the wall to his left. Holy shit, that worked. And then the devil's like, God damn it, you didn't die. He's like, what, you want me to die? As he's like, ah, shit. As then he's like, I'm coming after your ass after I beat these warlords. As then he picks himself back up onto the table. As then they all take out their swords that they had holding down to their sides. Each one of their beards and huge musky, just full-faced, you know, it looked like they had like 2 sets of hair on their head and their chins. As they were all dressed in sort of pirate garb, however, it was ancient pirates. As Deku Asta just starts, you know, dancing basically for each, dodging around every single swipe and swing until finally he had bought enough time that the dragon had gotten impatient. You said you'd feed me, and he dared touch my child. As then it climbs out of the, it rips open the stone, allowing its head to burst through. As then it spits fire everywhere, scorching some of the warlords as the others started to use magic, covering themselves with water. Another one conjures lightning magic, striking down on the temple of the dragon. It was clear that this fight was going to go on for quite a while. As Asta starts to flee the building, he bumps straight into the Aramusha, as the Aramusha was caught fleeing too with him. Oh fuck, the Aramusha says. As Asta's like, you're not the Aramusha, are you? As the devil's like, I told you so. As the devil was secretly telling him that was not the real Aramusha. And he's like, I still don't trust you though, devil. God damn it, you sent me here just to kill me? As the Aramusha's like, is he talking to himself? Asta's like, oh yeah, right. Sorry about that. As the Aramusha uncovers himself as a great grand wizard from the capital. He was actually a painter, and he painted it the perfect face of the Aramusha and took his place when he was dying. They hired him to, you know, take his place. He reveals basically an afro, the painter guy. I forget his name though, but he's a very joyful guy, and he was really good at acting. And he's like, wow, you really got me. He's like, yeah, but we have a huge problem. The warlords are in there battling a whole ass dragon. As he's like, by the way, Good smile. Keep it up. The people here really do need it. As Asta's like, I didn't know it affected people that much. He was like, you almost convinced the warlords to help you. However, I needed you to come here for one exact reason. What? That exact dragon is threatening everybody in this town. Right now, I need you to help me defeat it. As Asta looks and smiles. You could have just said so. As I'll have to thank you for watching this. I have no more time. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys in the next video.